While the world keeps turning faster, demanding more from us and throwing chaos our way, most folks are out there searching for peace in all the wrong spots. They're looking for comfort instead of building real strength. They try to dodge pain instead of learning the lessons it offers. They run from storms instead of learning how to stand firm in the middle of them. Marcus Johnson, who was once the most powerful man in the ancient world, once said, "You have control over your mind, not over what happens outside." Once you truly understand this, you'll find a well of strength inside you. He didn't drop these words from a life of luxury or ease. He was the leader of an empire, fighting wars, facing deadly plagues, and losing loved ones. And still, he discovered something unbreakable within himself. That's what I want for you. In this talk, I'll share 8 real practice, no fluff, no quick tricks, just ancient, battle-hardened principles that can help you stop breaking apart under pressure and start using that pressure as the fuel to grow stronger. These ideas have helped countless people not just survive stressful times, but come out the other side better for it. You, right now, reading these words, carrying whatever burden you have, already possess everything you need to become unstoppable. You don't need perfect conditions, and you don't need to wait for the storm to settle. The storm itself is the path. The struggle is the forge. The pain, yeah, that's the teacher. But here's the honest truth. Knowledge alone, without action, is just entertainment. So I need you to do more than just listen. Like this video if you're ready to commit to transforming yourself. Drop a comment. Tell me what stress you're battling right now. Your honesty might just help someone else feel less alone. Share this with someone who needs it. And make sure to subscribe. Stay with me because every part of this message counts. Now take a deep breath. We're about to forge something unbreakable together. Write this in the comments. I refuse to break. I am becoming unbreakable. Number 1, don't just cope, dominate your darkness. Most people go through life trying to just cope with stress, anxiety, or pain. They come up with routines, distractions, or escape plans, thinking that's enough. But coping is survival, not transformation. Thinkers like Seneca, who endured exile, betrayal, and the threat of death, said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as exercise strengthens the body." He wasn't preaching comfort. He was talking about power. He understood adversity isn't just something to manage but to master. When stress hits, and your gut reaction might be to shrink away, numb it, or wish it away. But that instinct just makes you weaker. The truth is, your darkness isn't your enemy, it's your forge. Think back to the last time life pushed you right to your limit. Maybe it was a deadline you thought was impossible, a relationship that broke your heart, or a moment when you felt like you couldn't go on. And yet here you are. In that intense heat you found something, a strength you didn't know you had, clarity, focus, power. That's not luck. That's you under pressure becoming something more. Facing your darkness isn't about ignoring your pain. It's about using it. Switch your perspective from "why is this happening to me?" to "what is this trying to teach me?" Here's a trick. When stress cramps your chest, makes your thoughts race, or fear rises in your throat, stop. Take 3 deep breaths. Then ask yourself, what's the lesson here? Maybe it's time to face some truth you've been avoiding, or maybe it's time to change how you handle things. Whatever it is, see it as information, not punishment. The Stoics practiced something called memento mori, not to be morbid, but to remind themselves that life is fleeting. When you realize time's limited, every hardship becomes a test of your character. Every storm becomes a stage for your growth. Stop just surviving, calm in the storm, face the darkness, and let it make you unbreakable. Drop in the comments, "I dominate my darkness and turn challenges into strength." Number 2, control that first thought. Kill that weak inner voice. At this very moment, there's a voice in your head judging you, worrying, planning, criticizing. And most people believe that voice is actually them. That's the most dangerous lie you can buy into. Even Marcus Aurelius, that great Roman emperor, struggled with this. In his private journal, he reminded himself, "Stay present." Most of our suffering doesn't come from reality itself, but from the stories we tell ourselves about it. That voice in your head, it's not your friend. It's evolved to detect threats to keep you safe, but in today's world, where growth and success matter more than mere survival, that voice can become your prison. It whispers things like, I can't handle this, this is too hard, what if I fail? Everyone else is doing better than me. That's not the truth. That's programming weakness in disguise. But here's what most people never realize. You are not that voice. You're the one who hears it. And the one who hears it has the power. The first thought carries the tone for everything that follows. When stress hits, your brain reacts automatically, throwing up a reflexive, emotional thought. But between the moment something happens and your response, there's a tiny space you a chance to choose. Here's your training. When pressure comes, catch that initial thought. Don't react right away. Just notice it. There's the voice telling me I can't do this. Then pause. Pick a better thought, not fake positivity or lies, but something grounded and true. I'm learning. I can handle this. This makes me stronger. Ask yourself, what if I rise instead of fall? What if this is my turning point? That's what the Stoics practiced, called cognitive reframing, mastering your mind by how you interpret what's happening. This isn't about denying pain. It's about refusing to let pain define your story. Become the editor, not the prisoner of your thoughts. That voice that's been running free for years, it's time to shut it down and replace it with someone tougher. Drop in the comments, I control my thoughts and choose strength. Number 3, turn solitude into a weapon, not a prison. When life gets overwhelming, your instinct might be to call someone, vent, seek reassurance, or hear that everything will be okay. Connection is human and vital, but relying on others to manage your emotions can be dangerous. Seneca said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future. He found that peace in solitude, not distractions. In solitude, he didn't just survive, he thrived. He became one of history's deepest thinkers because of it. Many people are afraid of being alone because it strips away distractions, buffers, and excuses. No one to blame, no one to lean on. That's scary. But here's the truth. Isolation is where legends are made. Think of writers alone with their thoughts, athletes grinding while the world sleeps, entrepreneurs quietly building, students studying when everyone else is partying. Isolation isn't absence, it's self-reliance at its purest. But here's the catch. There's a big difference between forced isolation turning into a prison and voluntary solitude, using it as a tool for growth. If isolation is imposed on you, it becomes lonely and bitter. But if you choose it intentionally, it becomes a powerful weapon. Start small. Commit to 1 hour a day of silence, no phone, no music, no distractions. Just you and your mind. At first, your mind will scream to escape. That discomfort, that's the fire forging the unbreakable. On the other side, someone who doesn't need validation, who doesn't rely on noise to feel alive, who can stand tall alone because they've learned to love their own company. Use solitude to take stock: what's working, what's not, what truths are you avoiding, what dreams are waiting for you. The strongest aren't those who are never alone, they are those who crave their own company. Turn loneliness into your sanctuary and your source of power, not your prison. Number 4, train under pressure. Never wait for calm. Most people treat pressure like the enemy. They wait for the storm to pass to try and grow. They put off their dreams until life gets easier, delay building good habits until they have more time. Basically, they think, I'll be strong when I don't need to be. That way of thinking keeps people weak forever. Epictetus, the ancient Stoic born a slave, knew better. He could have waited for freedom and good circumstances, but he chose to use every hardship as training. He said, don't just explain your philosophy of it. He didn't wait to think like a free man. He trained his mind when he was still chained. When freedom finally arrived, he was already unbreakable. Pressure isn't your enemy, it's the crucible of growth. Just as muscles grow stronger in resistance, your character develops during trials, not in comfort. The stresses you resist are raw materials for your spirit. Here's what training under fire looks like. When work feels overwhelming, practice calm. When money's tight, practice gratitude. When critics attack, practice detachment. When exhaustion hits, practice discipline. Most folks do just the opposite. They give up habits when stressed, skip workouts when tired, avoid tough talks when anxious, and neglect self-care when overwhelmed. But champions see differently, understand that it's during these moments that growth happens. Reframe these stressful moments as opportunities for training. Traffic jams become lessons in patience. Annoying colleagues teach emotional control. Financial hits test your resourcefulness. Hard times in health push you to adapt and grow resilient. Each challenge becomes a gym session for your soul. The beautiful part: when you start to see stress as a form of training rather than torture, your nervous system calms down. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become a student of life. Here's your rule: never waste a crisis. Never waste pressure. Never waste hardship. Every trial is a chance to become the person you're meant to be. Don't wait for the storm to pass, become the storm itself. Imagine this: those who thrive under pressure aren't just lucky. They've trained for years, turning setbacks into setups, pressure points into sources of power. Stop waiting for perfect conditions to arrive. Start becoming unbreakable now, with what you already have. Drop in the comments: I train under pressure and grow stronger. Number 5. Make pain pay rent. Turn every blow into fuel. Pain is coming whether you invite it or not, so the real issue isn't if you'll suffer setbacks, betrayals, failures, or losses. It's whether you'll allow that pain to live rent-free in your mind, or you'll make it earn its place by transforming it into something useful. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." He didn't just endure pain, turned it into wisdom that still guides us today. Most people let pain shrink them or define them as victims. They wear injuries like armor that actually leaves them more vulnerable. But there's another way, that of the unbreakable. When pain hits, don't deny it, don't minimize it, and don't let it take permanent residence. Acknowledge what you're feeling, feel it fully, and then ask yourself, how can I turn this into strength? Every betrayal can teach discernment. Every failure reveals what doesn't work, and every loss can remind you of what really matters. Here's how to make pain pay rent. First, really feel it. Don't rush to move past it. Sit with the discomfort. Let it teach you how much you can endure. Most people are afraid of their own pain, but when you stop running from it, you realize you're stronger than you thought. Second, decode the lesson. What's this experience trying to show you? Maybe it's time to set boundaries, break a pattern, or develop a skill you've been avoiding. Pain always has a message, you just have to listen carefully. Third, use what you've learned to help others. The pain you've battled can be the foundation for your greatest contribution. The person who survived depression can help others find hope. The one who experienced betrayal can teach about trust. The one who lost everything can show what truly matters. This isn't about fake positivity or pretending pain is good. It's about refusing to let pain turn you into someone weaker. Your scars, they're proof that you survived. Your pain, it's your curriculum, not your identity. Stop letting hurt define you, let it refine you. Write in the comments, I turn every pain into power. Number 6, operate in silence. Let discipline do the talking. In a world full of noisy people announcing every plan, broadcasting every struggle, celebrating every tiny victory, the most powerful move is to do your work quietly. Let your results speak for themselves. Epictetus advised, be silent most of the time, or if you speak, keep it brief and to the point. He understood that true strength doesn't need an audience. Real progress doesn't need applause. Genuine transformation happens in the silent moments when nobody's watching. The problem with talking too much about your plans is that it tricks your brain into feeling like you've already succeeded. Psychologists call this social reality. Your brain gets a dopamine hit from praise for your intentions, which makes you less motivated to follow through. You get addicted to planning, not doing. Look around. The loudest talkers about their goals are often the slowest to reach them. They're busy managing their image instead of building real substance. They perform for others, but they don't experience growth. Instead, embrace silent discipline. Get up at 5 a.m. and work on your dreams when everyone else is sleeping. Say no to distractions because your mission matters more. Choose the hard path when no one's watching because that's where real progress happens. Build something meaningful, even if no one notices. This doesn't mean you should become antisocial or secretive. It's about being selective with what you put out there. Your daily habits, your inner work, your character these should be kept consistent and private. There's power in working without an audience. When you focus fully on the process and don't need external validation, your decisions are better and your dreams stay protected. When you share only after you've achieved results, your words carry weight. People notice the difference. Stop performing your growth and start living it. The world needs fewer talkers and more doers. Drop in the comments. I let my actions speak louder than words. Number 7, become dangerous to your old self. The biggest enemy isn't outside forces. It's that old version of youth, one full of excuses, settling for less, avoiding growth. That version still lives inside you, fighting to stay alive every day. Seneca said, "You act like mortals in all that you fear and like immortals in all that you desire." That's a warning. They hesitate, delay, assume they have forever to change, and let their old self win day after day. The harsh truth: your old self must die every day. Why? Because that weaker version, softer habits, lazier standards, louder excuses can't survive in the same space as your future self. You've got to be so focused and relentless in your evolution that your past feels alien. If you don't actively destroy that old self, it will keep pulling you back. This isn't about hating your past or rejecting who you were. Your old self got you this far, gave you lessons, fought battles. But survival isn't enough anymore. You're here to become unbreakable. That means leaving behind every thought, excuse, or weakness that kept you small. To do that, you can't keep mindlessly scrolling for hours, wasting time on things that don't matter. You can't let yourself complain without action. Your word has to mean something. You need to follow through on your promises. The old you said, "I'll start tomorrow." The new, dangerous you says, "Now is the time." The old version said, "I don't have time." The new one cuts out anything that wastes it. When you step into that mindset, you stop tolerating mediocrity. If your health is average, you obsess until it's excellent. If your relationships are superficial, you deepen them or let go. If your work isn't fulfilling, you find purpose or start fresh. Action replaces empty words. The dangerous you holds a mirror up, critiquing honestly but also pushing forward confidently. You stop explaining yourself to people stuck in their old ways. When old friends ask why you don't party like before, you don't justify, just show results. When family doubts your new standards, you don't argue, demonstrate. Some cling to the old you because it's easier for them not to change. And the most powerful part: once you upgrade your standards, going back feels wrong. That's called cognitive dissonance. You can't act or believe in new ways without it feeling uncomfortable. Either your actions align with new beliefs, or your beliefs revert to old patterns. The dangerous version of you makes sure that your beliefs change. You become unrecognizable. That's the goal. Some people will notice and say, "You've changed," or "You're different now." That's exactly right, because the old version couldn't handle what you're building. The new you can handle anything. So stop trying to fix or improve the old version. Build completely anew. Number 8. Anchor yourself to one unbreakable reason. When everything falls apart, and it will, you need one thing that keeps you standing: knowing why you're fighting in the first place. Not the surface-level goals or fleeting motivations, but that deep, unshakable reason. Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and psychologist, discovered this when facing unimaginable horrors. He wrote, "Those who have a why to live can endure almost anyhow." They survived not because they were stronger physically, but because they had a reason so powerful that it kept them fighting day after day. Most people's reasons are shallow: wanting success because it looks good, being fit because it's attractive, or being disciplined because it's admirable. But when exhaustion hits, progress slows, or nobody's watching, All that superficial motivation vanishes like dust. Your unbreakable why isn't about you, it's about everyone you care for. It's about the example you set for your kids, your parents, your friends. It's about the legacy you're creating. Maybe your reason is your children, showing them how to never give up, how to keep growing, and handle stress gracefully. Or maybe it's honoring your parents who sacrificed so much. Or perhaps it's about the person you used to be who needed someone like who you're becoming now. Or it's for everyone who doubted you, and your transformation is your way of proving them wrong. Here's how to find your unbreakable reason. Ask yourself, what would I regret not becoming if I only had a year left? What version of myself would I feel ashamed of leaving behind? What growth did I always want but never pursued? Your reason should move you emotionally so deep that quitting is impossible. When you think of your why, especially in tough times, it gives you energy and courage. It reminds you that settling isn't an option, that surrendering betrays everything you stand for. Write your why down, make it specific, make it personal, make it so powerful that even months later just reading it will bring tears and fire your heart. The Stoics knew this well. Nothing great was ever achieved without a strong reason. Your practices might falter, your motivation fade, and circumstances challenge you. But that unbreakable with that one core reason will carry you through any storm. Don't just want to be unbreakable. Need to be unbreakable for reasons bigger than yourself. Now, you have 8 powerful practices to help transform you from someone who merely survives stress into someone who thrives because of it. But here's the truth. Knowing these methods isn't enough. Reading about them isn't enough. You've got to do something with what you've learned. Marcus Aurelius said it best. Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. The same goes for being unbreakable. Stop talking, start doing. Your transformation doesn't start tomorrow or when conditions get perfect. It starts right now. The challenge you're facing isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. It's your training ground, your classroom, your chance to prove what you're made of. The person who started this video and the person finishing it can be the same, but only if you choose to make them so. Start with one practice, master it, then add another. Construct your unbreakable spirit one choice at a time, one challenge at a time, one victory at a time. If these ideas resonated with you, like this video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe to stay on this journey. The world needs more people who don't break when the pressure's on, people like you. And now, go prove what you're truly made of. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I am unbreakable. My journey to strength begins now.